Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered if we are truly alone? For centuries, humans have asked the same question. Are we the only intelligent beings in the universe? Or is there something else out there, watching from the darkness beyond our world? Today, we are going to explore one of the most fascinating mysteries in human history. A mystery involving military pilots, intelligence officers, astronauts, classified government documents, and thousands of eyewitness reports. A mystery that has remained unsolved for nearly 80 years. The mystery of UFOs. But before you decide what to believe, listen carefully, because the truth may be very different from what most people imagine. Our story begins in recent years. In a remote area of the United States, trained government personnel reported seeing something unusual in the evening sky. At first, it appeared as a glowing orange sphere. It hovered silently. It showed no visible wings, no propellers, no engine noise, nothing. Then something even stranger happened. Witnesses claimed that several smaller glowing objects emerged from the larger orb before rapidly moving away. Within seconds, the objects disappeared. The incident was reported, but many people dismissed it. After all, strange lights in the sky are not uncommon. However, over the next few days, additional teams reported seeing similar objects. These were not random observers. They were trained professionals accustomed to identifying aircraft and unusual aerial activity. Some described movements that appeared impossible. Others reported objects accelerating at extraordinary speeds. Years later, investigators returned to the same area. According to reports, they witnessed similar unexplained activity. The question immediately became obvious. What exactly?
A private pilot named Kenneth Arnold was flying near Mount Rainier in Washington state. Suddenly, he noticed several bright objects moving through the sky. They were traveling incredibly fast, much faster than most aircraft of that era. Arnold later described their movement as similar to a saucer skipping across water. But something unexpected happened. Newspapers misunderstood his description. Instead of describing the movement, they assumed he was describing the shape. Soon, headlines appeared across America. Flying saucers seen in the sky. Within days, the phrase became famous around the world. The modern UFO era had begun. But an even bigger event was just around the corner. Only weeks later, a rancher near Roswell, New Mexico discovered unusual debris scattered across his property. The material appeared strange. Some pieces seemed lightweight. Others seemed unfamiliar. Military officials quickly arrived. Then something extraordinary happened. A military press release announced that a flying disc had been recovered. The news exploded across newspapers worldwide. People immediately began speculating about alien spacecraft. However, only one day later, officials changed their story. They claimed the debris belonged to a weather balloon. Many people were unconvinced. Why would the military first announce a flying disc and then suddenly reverse its statement?
Most eventually received explanations. Some turned out to be aircraft. Others were balloons. Many were stars, planets, or atmospheric effects. But hundreds of cases remained unexplained. And that is where the mystery becomes interesting. An unexplained case does not automatically mean aliens. It simply means investigators lacked enough evidence to reach a conclusion. Yet many people interpreted these unresolved cases differently. To them, unexplained meant extraterrestrial. This belief spread rapidly through popular culture. Movies, television shows, books, documentaries, all contributed to the growing fascination with UFOs. Soon, alien visitors became a major part of modern mythology.
But the mystery did not remain limited to Earth. It eventually reached space. In 1965, astronauts aboard the Gemini 7 mission reported seeing an unidentified object outside their spacecraft. One astronaut described it using a term commonly heard in military aviation: a bogey. The word refers to an unidentified object that has not yet been classified. Mission controllers attempted to determine whether the object could have been debris, but uncertainty remained. The event became one of the earliest reported UFO sightings in space. Years later, astronauts participating in lunar missions reported additional unusual observations. Some described strange lights.
Others reported unexpected flashes. Photographs taken during certain missions appeared to show unidentified objects in the distance. Scientists offered possible explanations: reflections, camera artifacts, cosmic radiation, space debris. Yet not every question received a definitive answer. And whenever uncertainty exists, speculation grows. This pattern appears repeatedly throughout UFO history. An unusual event occurs, investigators gather evidence. Some questions are answered, others remain unresolved. Then theories emerge. Some theories are reasonable, others are extraordinary. But how do we separate fact from fiction? One approach is to examine where UFO sightings occur most frequently. When researchers mapped major sightings over several decades, an interesting pattern emerged. Many incidents occurred near military installations, military training areas, conflict zones, testing ranges, strategic regions. Why? There are several possible explanations. The first explanation is simple. Military organizations possess advanced surveillance equipment. They monitor the sky more closely than ordinary civilians. As a result, they detect more unusual objects. The second explanation involves classified technology. Throughout history, governments have tested experimental aircraft in secret. Stealth aircraft, reconnaissance systems, advanced drones, hypersonic vehicles. When observers encounter unfamiliar technology, they often struggle to identify it. What appears impossible today may become common knowledge tomorrow. The third explanation involves foreign surveillance systems.
Yet, despite these explanations, some incidents remain genuinely puzzling. Military pilots have occasionally reported objects accelerating rapidly. Others have described unusual flight characteristics. Advanced sensor systems have captured data that analysts still debate. Do these cases prove alien visitation? Not necessarily. But they do raise legitimate questions. Scientists approach such questions carefully. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. This principle is essential. If someone claims visitors from another star system are entering Earth's atmosphere, the supporting evidence must be extremely strong. Blurry videos are not enough. Distant lights are not enough. Anecdotal reports alone are not enough. The evidence must withstand intense scrutiny. So far, no publicly available evidence has conclusively demonstrated that UFOs are alien spacecraft. That does not mean extraterrestrial life does not exist. In fact, many scientists believe intelligent life may exist elsewhere in the universe. The Milky Way galaxy contains hundreds of billions of stars. The observable universe contains billions of galaxies. The numbers are staggering. Statistically, it seems possible that life exists beyond Earth. The real question is whether such life has visited us. And that question remains unanswered. In recent years, governments have increased transparency regarding unidentified aerial phenomena. Previously classified reports have been released. Military footage.
Unfortunately, uncertainty often creates opportunities for misinformation.
Conspiracy theories flourish where evidence is incomplete. Rumors spread rapidly. Speculation becomes accepted as fact. And before long, fiction can become more popular than reality. This has happened repeatedly throughout UFO history. Stories evolve, details change, legends grow. Meanwhile, the actual evidence often remains limited. Yet the mystery continues to captivate millions of people. Why? Perhaps because UFOs represent something larger than strange lights in the sky. They represent humanity's deepest questions. Are we alone? What exists beyond our world? How much do governments truly know? What secrets remain hidden? These questions touch something fundamental within us. A desire to explore, a desire to discover, a desire to understand our place in the universe. And maybe that is why the UFO mystery refuses to disappear. Every generation inherits the same questions. Every decade produces new sightings. Every investigation uncovers new puzzles. Technology improves. Cameras become better. Sensors become more advanced. Yet definitive answers remain elusive. Maybe one day we will discover that every UFO report had a perfectly ordinary explanation. Maybe we will learn they were advanced technologies, misunderstood observations, or
Perhaps it will be a rare atmospheric phenomenon. Or perhaps it will become another entry in the long history of unexplained sightings. The truth is that we do not yet have all the answers, and that is perfectly acceptable. Science is not about pretending to know everything. Science is about following evidence wherever it leads. Sometimes the answer is exciting. Sometimes it is ordinary. But the search for truth is always worthwhile. As for UFOs, the evidence suggests that many sightings have conventional explanations. Others remain unresolved. And the possibility of extraterrestrial life elsewhere in the universe remains one of the most fascinating questions ever asked. So, are UFOs alien spacecraft? The honest answer is simple. We don't know. But until convincing evidence appears, skepticism and curiosity should travel together. Because the greatest mysteries are solved not through belief alone, but through investigation. And perhaps somewhere beyond the stars, the answer is waiting. Until then, keep looking up. Because the universe is far stranger, far larger, and far more mysterious than any of us can imagine. This is secret of life, and this mystery is far from over.